Oh man, I mean, what do I say after that? You know what I mean? Oh man, happy Sunday and welcome, y'all. Yeah, I don't need no extra sauce on this. Look, let's just sit with that. Just give us 3 seconds to sit with that. Man, listen, this is how to talk about wrestling like nobody else in the world. Oh my God. And that means it is time for the first Black Champ podcast, and it's still me, the pick, like it or not. It's Cam from the Port.
And now I'm JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Barbershop Digital is the home.
Sure.
Black Champ, make sure y'all go ahead and get that merch. You see Camp got on. That's the chocolate right there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So if y'all ain't seen that intro, y'all just scroll back to the video.
Oh, man.
Because as the Bloodline Turns took the step that we said to y'all during the prediction show and last week and all of that, what was going to happen? We told y'all that after Paul Heyman said, hey, Jay, it was your fault.
Yeah.
And you know what? Jimmy Uso did what we expected here on First Black Champ, what other people expected, as I saw during, the social channels as well, that he was going to cost his little bro, his little twin brother, the tribal chief, and the WWE Universal World Heavyweight Championship last night. Cap, your thoughts when you saw the double cross?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that's a top 5 Bang Be Knowing moment for me. That's a top 5 Bang Be Knowing moment for me, because even though I was like totally see what you see happening, I didn't want it to happen. So I won't even fully co-sign. I'm gonna elevate you. I'm gonna celebrate you for this Bang Be Knowing moment, because I've always been adamant about the twins never breaking up or having a spat of any kind. However, to see that last night, hey, as soon as I saw the Air Force Ones, I was like, damn, that's Jimmy. I was like, damn, that's Jimmy. I was like, Bang wrote this. Like, he wrote this. He's been teasing this. That's what it is. He teased this because it literally happened. I want to say 1 week when you said it, I think it transpired that exact way. So, I am going to go in on the match, but we're going to start with love first, and that love goes to you, sir. You said it first. You called it first. Out of all the other interactions I've seen more people thinking that Jay was going to actually win than thinking that was going to happen. Yeah, so I must be following the wrong threads. But yeah, man, that what I thought about it is, you know what? Based on the match, that's what they had to do to save me from going clean in on this match.
So talk about that. Talk about that, because I had some issues as well.
Okay.
What do you think?
So, tribal combat. Jey Uso versus the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Tribal combat. And they gave us a hardcore match. It wasn't no sand. It wasn't no face paint. It wasn't no ancestors. I guess it wouldn't be ancestors, right? But it wouldn't no daddies out there. It wouldn't no bamboo. Them kendo sticks ain't bamboo, and y'all see how easy they break. That's how you know they ain't bamboo. There was the only thing different about this was Jay's outfit, and I was super just disappointed by that. Like that. Especially after I got the chance to watch the beginning of SummerSlam this morning. Yeah, I'm thoroughly unimpressed. I don't want to say they mailed it in, but boy, is that an overpromise, underdeliver moment for me. I didn't look at that main event as something that I mean, hey, block out SmackDown and do that. You know what I'm saying? Block out the last hour of SmackDown and do that. That's how I felt about the match. Not saying that it was a garbage match. It just didn't feel like it was premium live event, heritage marquee premium live event worthy. They could have did that Payback. And now I think that would have been the same result, same action if it wasn't for Jimmy Uso. So now let me give some praise. If it wasn't for Jimmy Uso, this whole night would be a wash with that main event, in my personal opinion.
Oh man, look, I agree with you so much. I went to sleep. I was anticipating this match, and I went to sleep. I dozed off, and I woke up right to it. It's always, I don't know how it happens, but I always tend to wake up at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Because that's when I woke up, and I was like, damn, this happened exactly the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah. There it is.
Which I ain't mad at, but this is exactly how I thought it was going to go. Mm-hmm. And this is my worry about the WWE when it comes to the Bloodline situation. Mm-hmm. Right? My worry about this is that it's not necessarily mailing it in, but I think it ends up being a bit easier than people think, because we all know and expect Roman Reigns to win. So they feel like it's easy to book these matches because at the end of the day, Roman comes out on top. Mm-hmm. The Roman Reigns I miss at this point now, the Roman Reigns who just goes over clean as shit.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
I miss the Roman Reigns who pinned Daniel Bryan and Edge. Mm-hmm. I miss the Roman Reigns who beat the shit out of Jay.
Yes.
The first time.
Yeah. And for the callback from Michael Cole during the beginning of the match, and then for us to get what we got, I mean, shoot, when Jay didn't look as in greater shape as he is now, they had way better chemistry, way better story, higher level of emotion. And that was when I think nobody gave him a chance to win at all. It was almost exhibition worthy with freshly new out of my history title winning tag team thrust into the main event at Hell in a Cell. And those matches were by far better than this. Out of every time that Jay and Roman have had interaction of a match of any kind, for me, this one is definitely the worst.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Like, look, if you went up in that match last night and thought Jey Uso was gonna win, fam, you was smoking rocks. You know damn well that Jey Uso wasn't gonna win that match. Yeah. I mean, I predicted the match where it was gonna go. But to me, the disappointment is what you said at the beginning. Where was you had a anything goes match for a tribal combat match. Even with some of the other special matches that were basically anything goes matches, you had something
right
to call back to what the match is called in order to get what you need out of the match. Hell, we got more out of a Miracle on 35th Street match, which is an anything goes weapons match, than we did with a tribal combat match. Yeah. You're right. I needed the tribal chants. I needed some face paint. I needed the elders, or at least a representative of the elders, because you got to remember these cats old, so they might not have been able to get around, or at least like the thing that they had during the pandemic, like had that shit by the Triton or whatever, so the elders can see this shit, so they could go ahead and put their stamp on this match. Because as Roman said during the contract signing, the elders signed off on this. Jimmy was like, yeah, well, I need to see at least a representative of the elder there. And actually, I would have loved for them to be involved in the match in some type of way, like accidentally get knocked down to some shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, the ending of the match is the match to me because there's Kain and Abel, there's Brett and Owen, there's Matt and Jeff, and now there's going to be Jimmy and Jay. Now, I do believe this right here is going to be a great part of the Bloodline feud, that nobody expected. But we'll talk about that more when we come back right here on As the Bloodline Turns. And welcome back to As the Bloodline Turns. I am JR Bank here with Kev from the Port. Yeah, we're going to have fun with this shit today because there's really nothing else to talk about Summerslam, you know. But we're back with As the Bloodline Turns. And look, man, talking about Jay versus Jimmy now because that looks like where we're going to be going. This looks like it's going to be an emotional feud. And as somebody that, if you listen to this show, if you listen to it over the years that we've done this show, no, in fact, we tweaked, Kemp, because we didn't celebrate our anniversary.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Damn.
We tweaked.
July 9th.
We didn't celebrate. Yep.
20. Jeez. Hey, that's our bad. Hey, but that's how much we give it up for the show, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Damn, that's our, that's super our bad.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, for sure.
Show. But
7917 for y'all that's here that know what's up.
Right. So y'all know I love an emotional match. I love a match built off of emotion. I love montages. When we talk about Cody and Brock, I sent out a text to one of the homies, was like, yo, we headed into Rocky montage mode right now. You know, and I think this is where we're headed with Jimmy and Jay. We're headed to all of the twins photos. We're headed to all of the football footage. We're headed to FCW video. We're headed to the intro of the Usos and the WWE, how they always held each other down. And then super kick happens. And then, and now, here's my guarantee. My guarantee is not going to be hating as far as this is why I did it. It's not going to be hating on why this was done. What it's going to be is I had to do this for the family. Not because I hate you, brother. It's because of the family. The family is the reason why all of this is going to take place. And Jimmy is going to explain it in a way that he's going to try to little bro this man. And Jay is going to go crazy. Because he's not going to know what to believe. Am I wrong in thinking this? Because I don't think this is going to be like, fuck you, little bro. Because it's little bro.
Right. I don't think it is either. And see, and that's the that is the interesting part about all of this, right? Because as I sit here and I think about all the angles that could take place as to why Jimmy is going to explain why he did what he did, none of it has anything to do with him not messing with his brother no more. I think it will be, but what my angle is a little tweaked. I think it's self-motivated. I think it's self-inflicted. And I think even as we talk about how everything after WrestleMania has transpired, right? With Jimmy being the one that was just being son beyond belief. Like the narrative, the underlying narrative in all of these stories is everybody got a chance at being the tribal chief but Jimmy. And he's like, hey, that's some bullshit. Because again, if we just look at life, their real life in wrestling, Jimmy was undoubtedly the first one that was over, that was making an impact. He was the one that was the most healthy to begin with. Like, everything about Jimmy was like, no, that's really the one. That's really the tribal chief. If we were to just look at everybody, because at that time, Roman Reigns, obviously doing this thing in FCW and then in NXT, but he wasn't Roman Reigns. Like, literally, even by name, he wasn't Roman Reigns. and Solo was like in high school. Like, we don't even know who Solo is. And Jay was the brother that you couldn't tell them two apart until Jay started getting hurt. And then they gave a shot at booking Jimmy by himself, but it was still on the tribal, never back down type of joint. But now the tables have turned so much to the point where he's almost outcasted. He was treated like he didn't even matter this year, especially after they lost the tag team titles. So in my mind, he's looking like, yo, I don't like how everybody is feeding to this tribal chief shit. Like, I don't matter. It was like, and what you mean, like, so like, what does that mean for me? Because if you become the tribal chief and you separate yourself from me, then where does that really leave me? I'm not listening to you. Remember the promo that Jimmy cut a few months ago. When it comes to this Usos, when it comes to this day one-ish, I am the tribal chief. That's what he said. So he not trying to have his brother beat Roman Reigns for the title and the spot of tribal chief, because he's adamant about, nah, y'all got me fucked up.
Now, I'm glad that you said that. We're going to talk about this more when we get back, because while I believe that I'm right, I think they need to go in the direction that you just talked about right here on As the Bloodline Turns. Welcome back to As the Bloodline Turns.
That's excellent.
It's definitely a theme of the day as the Bloodline turns, because this is the never-ending soap opera story that I don't mind not ending for right now. Now we're going on over to what this means for maybe Jay versus Jimmy and the rest of the Bloodline family. So I believe that what Kemp just said before we took our break, which is Jimmy was like, yo, I'm the one when it comes to this Uso shit.
Mm-hmm.
He believes that might be the direction that we're going. Well, I believe Jimmy's going to use I did this for the family, because Jimmy was also the one that was like, yo, and we all just get along.
Right.
After he was nobody's bitch. But
right.
I believe that the fatal four-way that I predicted to happen at SummerSlam is going to happen soon. Now, remember what I said a couple of weeks ago that should happen at SummerSlam, to where there is a fatal four-way for the role of tribal chief and the WWE Universal Championship. Now, we saw what happened with Jimmy and Jay, but an underrated underlying fact that happened during last night's match at SummerSlam was maybe Solo and Roman Reigns was not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And Solo was ready to say, man, fuck this dude.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
So now we have tension between brothers. We have tension between cousins. We have tension between cousins and brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's no other road to go down, really, if the WWE is smart, is all y'all Samoans fight this out.
Yeah. Hey, your setup now after last night, the other positive I'll give for last night's matches, now your fatal four-way thing makes way more sense to me, and it seems inevitable. Like, obviously, back in May, it made sense. It made perfect sense. So I'm not saying that. But with the way that match broke down and the last 7 minutes, it's like, oh, okay. Solo about to get vocal too, huh? like Jay and Jimmy ain't seeing eye to eye, and Solo about to get vocal. The very telling part in the match too, and this is where we do salute our champion and tribal chief, was when Roman just looked and stood there. Oh, you gonna turn on me? Like, oh, you gonna turn on me? Like, just like, hey, the nerve of this little nigga, man. So, and you know what I'm saying? So, and to me, the fatal four-way gets needed to double back to the first segment of the show, so Roman can get a clean win or a clean loss. It don't even really matter at this point, because I think that you can do that match and it not be for the title. And I think it brings a greater element if literally just the tribal chief spot is on the line for what, I mean, because hey, as the bloodline turns, it ain't got nothing to do with no WWE championship.
So pause right there. Before we get to the end of As the Bloodline Turns, there was a question in a group chat that I'm in, which revolves around the tribal chief role and the WWE Universal World Championship role, and how they might not need each other to coexist.
Right.
So we will be back right here on As the Bloodline Turns. The Bloodline Turns right here on First Black Champ. Barber's Chair Digital is the home. I am J.R. Bang here with Cam from the Port. So I was in a chat group last night. Shouts out to the Brick Cave out in St. Louis. And one of the members said something that I thought I'd bring to the show here today. His thought is that Roman Reigns does not need this WWE Universal World Heavyweight Championship. Because the tribal chief storyline makes it, he don't need it. He don't need to be the world champion. Being the tribal chief is okay. Shouts out to my man Ronnie Notch. No, he said one needs the other, because if he's the tribal chief and not the world universal champion, then whoever is the champ is secondary. So you might as well just have the belt, because having the belt means that you're not only the tribal chief in your family, it means that you are the tribal chief within the company. So where do you fall in? Does Roman Reigns need this WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Universal World Heavyweight Championship, in order for this storyline to succeed? Shouts out to Landon back there. Or should Cody Rhodes or somebody else be the Universal Champion, and this storyline of the tribal chief would still be strong?
I think no matter what happens with the belt, the tribal chief is intact. The storyline, all of it is intact. And I only say it because, honestly, if we've been paying attention over the last 3 years, that's how it's been built. Umaga was the tribal chief at one point. Yokozuna's been the tribal chief at one point. They've ran down the list of who are the OG tribal chiefs. And I think what that means for them is like, well, this is the breadwinner of breadwinners within our family. Like, he bringing the most money, he feeding most of us, and that's how this breaks down. And Umaga was never world champion, but he had a prime spot at the WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? And the entire bloodline as we know it have prime spots on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and WrestleMania if they want. You dig? And they've done it within the last 12 to 18 months as well. So I think they're mutually exclusive. I think that SmackDown having a champ and having a tribal chief, it may look weird at first depending on who it is, but that's why the person after Roman Reigns has to be just so undeniable to hold that belt that it can't be like any misconception. Like, okay, we took the belt off Roman and this who got it. It can't be no 90-day turnaround. It's got to be somebody that's like, yo, undoubtedly the guy, obviously name dropping the name Cody Rhodes makes perfect sense. And hey, with this whole bloodline collapse and them all fighting each other, what better way for Cody to get the title than to beat Roman Reigns when we know it's one-on-one now? Like, he know ain't nobody else jumping in. So that, to me, while they're all I think the greater story to tell in all of this is that, see, while we all fighting about who leading, we losing money. The money is the belt. So now none of us got it. So now what, you still want to be tribal chief? Now that only the tribal chief spot is on the line, do you still want it? And then that's a story in itself. So I think they're mutually exclusive, but I do understand it being synonymous. But also here is just simplicity. If Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins or Brock Lesnar or if anybody beats Roman Reigns for the title, they're not the tribal chief.
And see, that's why I believe that. That's partly why I believe that they're not mutually exclusive. Because to be the tribal chief, you got to be the man. To be the tribal chief, you got to be the man. You don't see them pulling up footage of Rosie in their package.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Honestly, the only reason why they're showing Umaga in that package because he is no longer here. Even though he was the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
He's no longer here. The tribal chief, the man who really run this shit, is the man that starts with Yokozuna.
Yeah, for sure. Undoubtedly.
Offense seeker. Because they was losing to Hulk Hogan. But you know who beat Hulk Hogan? Rodney.
Yeah, let's say it right.
I don't want to say Yokozuna in this case.
Yeah, for sure.
Yokozuna's Asian. Rodney beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Rodney the Samoan, beat Hulk Hogan. That's your first tribal chief. In order to be the tribal chief, you gotta be the man. Y'all heard what they said about Yokozuna. Yokozuna got that championship and he made sure everybody got good.
Yeah.
But he wasn't able to do that when he wasn't the champ. Shit went left. Roman Reigns is the champ. He is the breadwinner. The WWE has not been in the position that it is in currently ever. And if they go somewhere else to do a WrestleMania, like they trying to do in London, because AEW about to break a nice ass record at All In London. They go in London. Who you think they need to have a championship? Roman.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if that man didn't lose that belt until WrestleMania 41, y'all. But that's because to be the tribal chief, that's the shit you need, Jack. You want to put this in perspective? White men, ages 18 to 34. You want to know who their tribal chief was in the 80s? Hulk Hogan. You know who their tribal chief was in the 90s? Stone Cold Steve Austin. You want to know who theirs was in the 2000s? John Cena. That was their tribal chief. Roman Reigns is that. And that don't happen if he don't have that belt. Because when he don't have that belt, guess what, y'all? He going on vacation. That's where he going. He going to chill. He going to the beach. He going to get his feet in the sand. He doing all of that. That's what he doing. And I know in the beginning of the show, I said, I want the old Roman Reigns back. I want the Roman Reigns that put Daniel Bryan on top of Edge and he pinned them both. But you know what? He's a mega heel. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind. I know what I want, but you know what mega heels do? What Roman Reigns is doing. Did y'all see Triple H when he had that 1 year title reign be winning matches without Batista?
right. You're right.
Without Randy Orton before they dropped him on his head? Before Ric Flair? Hey, when Ric Flair was the champ, did y'all see him winning all the time without the 4 horsemen? No. So, for lack of a better term, suck my dick when it comes to that whole thing about you just actually being that mad that Roman Reigns ain't winning fair. He's a heel. What do y'all expect? There's gonna be some people he beat without no help. And that's when you're gonna know that them ain't vital contenders, but I'm wrestling them. Cesaro. Beat Cesaro ass. Y'all was sitting alone. Cesaro finally got a chance. What happened?
Hey, smashed them, pinned them.
Look, y'all, when you have vital contenders, that's what you're supposed to do. When you are the heel, you get the help. I'm sorry, Sting ain't need no help as a face. But that's why also Sting ain't got as many title reigns as Ric Flair. That's why. Because Sting as the face wasn't going to call Flying Brian to help him win this match against Ric Flair.
And with it probably wouldn't have helped.
He's not going to be like, he's not going to look at Dustin Rhodes and be like, yo, Dustin, Vader's beating my ass. Help me. Because that's what heels do.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what they're meant for. So if you are crying that Roman Reigns needs help, then you need help. That's plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's how heels go.
Yeah, that's true.
Even you tell me how many times Vader won clean.
Yeah.
And he was one of the best monster heels we had.
Yeah.
Even Andre the Giant needed help to beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He needed a twin.
Hey, yo. Vader looked unstoppable and still had Harley Race out there.
Right. Harley Race was about to have a heart attack.
Right. Lex Luger was the champ with Harley Race. And as big as he is, he got somebody just as big as him with Mr. Hughes.
Right.
So this is par for the course. The thing is, you're just not used to seeing a heel win for this long.
Bingo.
That's all.
Give you that. I give you that because this is the longest heel title reign that we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But
like literally the only, outside of Bang's obviously logical statement about Hogan, there's only 2 wrestlers in Roman Reigns title reigns way, and they were both super faces. And that's Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund. So Bruno, Backlund, Hogan, them the only ones in his way. So he's literally the longest reigning heel world champion ever.
It ain't gonna be topped.
Yeah.
So them 3 ain't gonna call on the other faces to help me win this match. Why the heel ain't got no help, y'all.
Yeah.
So just if y'all are mad, if y'all are actually mad, like, if y'all discounting his title reign by saying he gets help, you've not watched wrestling in your life. And that's okay.
Definitely haven't watched enough.
Definitely not. Like, just go look at the 80s, 90s, 2000s. The heel gets help, y'all. Sure. And it just so, especially when the heel has the most dominant faction of all time. That's what it is. But to Camp's point, what happens when the bloodline splinters and then Roman has to go up against Cody one-on-one with no help? Now, is Cody gonna go call Dustin to put on the gold dust suit? and help me win this match? No.
Nah.
Because then that will make him a heel.
Yeah.
His faces don't do that. So stop it, y'all. But back to the bloodline. As we finish up our bloodline story. Roman Reigns is the champ.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like this bloodline feud is going to go in a little bit of a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your opinion, does Roman Reigns take a couple of weeks off here? Can he?
He can, because he didn't even understand what happened. Like, he didn't even understand what happened last night. And I think that is literally solving his Jimmy and his Jay problem at the same time. And I think really Roman is more concerned about Solo than he is either of the Usos at this point.
Okay.
I think this is where Paul Heyman turns up. You dig? I think that's where matter of fact, I think this is where Paul Heyman turns up, and you might see more Paul Heyman and Solo together and doing what they do while the Tribal Chief does whatever he does until Labor Day weekend at Payback. So I am expecting I think Roman Reigns to appear on SmackDown this coming Friday, but after that, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him for at least 2 weeks while the rest of this gets sorted out.
Okay. Who do you think should be the next opponent for Roman Reigns?
Next opponent. I mean, you know, hey, listen, man, I'm on board with you. It should be the rest of the bloodline. Again, they can spend the summer fighting each other while gearing up for the fall to finally fight together again by War Games, Survivor Series War Games, because I am not seeing how they're going to get Cody Rhodes to SmackDown to compete for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship without them just saying, hey, the draft don't matter, or hey, we making a player trade right now and we got AJ and the OC going to Raw again for Cody Rhodes. Like, look, because Cody he's not in Ray's position where he's like, yo, I don't want to fight my son. Let me go to SmackDown. I'm going to quit. He's like, oh, I'm going to retire. It's like, nah, Cody, remember your vignette? You can't do that. You can't. So yeah, I just think they close up the summer fighting each other. I don't think there's a need for Roman Reigns to have a legit contender right now for all the reasons we talked about. Because he's the longest reigning champion, because he is a super heel, because his own family and his faction is imploding at the same time, because who's going to take the belt off Roman and it makes sense in September? Those questions and facts just let you know, let's wait. Somebody got to get hot, though. Somebody else got to get hot out here. And I don't mind them waiting for that, because the story that they're telling amongst themselves is still one of the most compelling in wrestling.
Yeah, I do think we get Bloodline fighting at SummerSlam. I do think we get the Bloodline fighting at Survivor Series, in some type of capacity. Maybe it's a 4-way Hell in a Cell. I don't know, but I do think all roads lead to all four of them fighting on a major pay-per-view for Tribal Chief in the World Championship. And Roman Reigns will be successful, and the bloodline may splinter in some type of capacity, or somebody might not turn up until the Royal Rumble and all of that stuff. And I think we're gonna have an interesting conversation soon about the Royal Rumble between the three people. But we will talk about that on the other side. But this has been As the Bloodline Turns. We're going to get some more FBC content on the way. But thank you for joining us for As the Bloodline Turns. We'll be back. Hey man, now we back for the rest of recapping SummerSlam last night. SummerSlam and Detroit Rock City. Kid Rock intro the show. I don't care to see Kid Rock ever again, and not because of his views and stuff like that. He's just always been a little bit weird to me. But he introed the joint, and then we went into Logan Paul versus Ricochet, where Logan Paul getting the victory. What was your thoughts about this match and Samantha having Logan Paul's name in her mouth?
Man, y'all can call this jumping out the window if y'all want. It's cool. For me, performance of the night. That list, top 30, under 30, top 10 spot, valid. Dare I say now? Maybe a little too low. Best match that could have kicked off that night because, and I'll tell y'all like this. I watched it from the end of Drew Gunther to the end, and then I seen the beginning. And I was like, yeah, there was no other way to start off this night than with Ricochet versus Logan Paul. Extremely impressed. We were right on the outcome. I think Logan Paul just got it, man. He just got it. He's like, that was a wrestling match. That wasn't a celebrity attraction spot. That was a wrestling match. And he did everything that I used to do when I was 9 years old in the front room that we wasn't supposed to be in. Rest in peace, CG. He did everything. The posing, the jumping off the furniture, leg drops, trying match. Hey, my inner child was like, yo, he bodying this. Like, he's bodying this. So I have nothing but positive and great things to say. Shout to Logan Paul. He loves being that real internet heel, but that, ladies and gentlemen, was a wrestling match. That was a wrestling match had by Logan Paul. I now take his career in the WWE and his contract very seriously.
You got me. Last week, I was like, he don't belong in that top 10. He don't belong on that list. He belongs on the list.
Yeah.
That match with him and Ricochet was the match of the night for me.
Yeah.
Them boys went at it. Even with a couple of small botches here there, I was like, yeah. It don't even matter.
But yeah,
this boy got it.
Because them botches, to me, keeping it real, wooden botches. Like, I know they're gonna say the Spanish fly out to the floor, but I really think he meant to block that and to do it again on the floor.
Yeah, it's just like it was that. I think it meant those things meant to happen. That's why I said small botches. But they worked that shit out, and I thought that was the match of the night. He kicked it off very strong. Then he went to fly to go see his brother fight Nate Diaz. Look, man, if some of these cats can be part-time, he can be too. Like,
absolutely.
But it's
he's putting a better show than some of these part-timers, if we're just being real.
It's gonna come a point where we're gonna have to have a conversation about what belt to put on Logan Paul.
Hey, there's one available that I'm reserving for somebody.
Somebody gonna get that belt. We gonna talk about that. We'll be talking about that soon, but somebody gonna get that belt. All right, but I still stand on it, man. That I love to see Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio get back what should have happened when worlds collide after that with Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr. I still see that them two got some of the best frog splashes in the industry and all of that. Logan Paul definitely earned my respect last night. Then let's go to Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. We talked about that, and you said something last night on Twitter that I think is the most underrated part of last night. And I think it means way more than people think. Your thoughts on Brock Lesnar's reaction after the fight?
Man, Brock Lesnar, if Brock Lesnar has one genuine friend, homie, or just dude I mess with in wrestling, it's undoubtedly Cody Rhodes. Because the guy billed as the next big thing, that has been billed as the beast incarnate, that has been billed as the 1 and 21 and 1, has never showed love to anybody ever. This man broke the streak and left. He left the Undertaker laying like, yeah, all right, old nigga, peace. That's enough out of you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, cue my balloons. I'm out of here. Cue my pyro. I'm out of here. I've never seen that. And it's not that I don't think he has respect for, you know, your Undertakers, your John Cena's, your Randy Orton's, your Edges. I'm not saying he don't have respect for him, but last night I was like, yo, this is the first time ever in life he's done something that face, which to me, that was fourth rope shit right there. Like, he broke kayfabe as far as I'm concerned. From what we know Brock Lesnar to be heel or face, he broke kayfabe with that. And that speaks volumes. It's just, that just speaks a world of like, wow, Cody Rhodes really that, huh? Like, he watched the doc and felt away too, huh? Like, dang. So, yeah, we'll never see that again. I want that clear. I don't care what Brock Lesnar do. We watch Brock Lesnar winning the UFC match, drink a beer, give everybody his ass to kiss, and say what the fuck ever. Like, he totally ruined a UFC post-fight conference and got booed while he sipped the beer and I think it tastes like piss or something, and he drinks something else. So he killed the sponsorship and an organization at the end of a pay-per-view at the same damn time, and he won. So if you don't think last night that SummerSlam was major, respectfully, you have no idea who Brock Lesnar is.
I'm going to tell y'all right now. Reason why that shit happened last night is because of L.A. Knight. Yeah. That's why that happened. Because do people still love Cody Rhodes? Yes, they do. They seen the hell out of that thing. So and all that stuff. They love him. But there's a wrestler who's taking all of that when they're in the same arena. And that's L.A. Knight. And Jay is right behind him because of how emotional that match was. And Seth Rollins is behind him too. Cody Rhodes could very well be fourth on the pop chart.
Yeah, man.
So you need Brock Lesnar to put you over after you win. To say, hey, man, he's legit.
That's a bar. Wow.
And like you just said, Brock Lesnar don't do that for nobody. For nobody. So for him to do that, that tells me a lot about L.A. Knight and less about Cody Rhodes. Because I already knew he ain't the only one that's over now.
Right.
When he got back, it was him and Roman. He got hurt. Seth, Jay, L.A. Knight.
And out of nowhere.
So he needed that last night. And the way that match went, like I said, I love it. I love the match. You know, it was definitely Rocky IV vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no easy way out. That like once he was beating his ass, was like, fam, count out. I was like, yeah, this is definitely giving me those Rocky IV vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it happened and he lost and he gave Cody love. That was the rub, but that Cody needs. Now, the question does come, though, what's next for Cody? Does Cody go for Seth? Do they now pull that trigger? Is it Gunther? Like, where do we go with Cody now? Is somebody coming back on Monday that we'll see a new opponent? Like there was rumors that Randy Orton was in at SummerSlam. But there's also rumors that doctors have told Randy Orton, sit your ass down forever. But they say Randy Orton is like as big as ever. You know, as far like, so he's prepared to try to take those bumps.
Right.
So does Cody get the talking, and then all of a sudden he gets RKO'd, and then the crowd cries because they're like, yo, we didn't think your ass was coming back, fam.
Right.
You know, does the lights go off and we see the Fiend or another version of Bray Wyatt? Like, you know, and Bobby, you're right. Cody has to have an emotional feud.
Yeah.
I feel like whoever it is has to bring out emotion for Cody, because if it's just a normal feud, we're not gonna give a fuck. Yeah. So who should be next for Cody?
See, this is difficult for me because strictly off the strength that he beat Brock Lesnar, it's Roman Reigns. Like, that's who's next. And I know what y'all thinking. Well, he's on Raw and he's with Seth Rollins, who's the world heavyweight champ. He beat him. He beat him twice. He 3-0'd him. Like, yo, if this was Smack, Roman Reigns Seth Rollins got 3-0'd. He beat him at WrestleMania. He beat him at Hell in a Cell. Then I think he beat him for no reason, like again or whatever. Like, no, it's 2-0.
It was the Hell in a Cell. It's the Hell in a Cell. He beat him at WrestleMania. Then he beat him after that, and then it was the torn pec.
Oh yeah, so they couldn't have the third match, so for them to win again. So we don't want to see that because we kind of know the outcome. And now and do you believe with an emotional feud with the stakes higher than ever that now Cody Rhodes loses? He won for no reason. He won on the comeback. He won on a self-inflicted injury. So now I think he's going to lose because now he got the a title to fight for, not the one he came for, but a title. And that's the other reason why it's Roman Reigns. It just should be Roman Reigns because they're clearly answering to your final question to the segment of as the bloodline turns, who's next for Roman Reigns? They've cleared SmackDown out. They got Bobby preoccupied. They got AJ preoccupied. They got Ray preoccupied, even though we don't want to see that either. So that literally leaves Cody Rhodes. There is no other answer. They have the U.S. titles not active as the U.S. title. For some reason, they're not really pressing the button on Sheamus, but it's because he's supposed to be a heel too. Again, SmackDown is cleared out. It's a clear one way. They got to do some politics to get Cody to SmackDown to make that make sense, because that is the only person next.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's a world to where Cody Rhodes challenges Damian Priest for the Money in the Bank and wins? Is there a world, especially seeing what we saw last night, that because Damian Priest looked strong without wrestling, looked very strong. He looked so strong that he don't need that Money in the Bank in my eye.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to that later, because I think the MVP of the night was somebody who didn't wrestle.
Hey, I'm with you. I can't wait to talk that match. So let's go. Let's do what we do.
Is there a world where Cody Rhodes can take the Money in the Bank away from Damian Priest and win it in a way that Damian Priest stays strong, and Cody could then challenge Roman Reigns at, let's say, Survivor Series, since it's the next big one for that world, that Universal Championship?
There is a world. I'll keep it real. There is a world because we've seen it done poorly with people that it probably shouldn't have been done before. So there is a world. I just personally hate that for Damian Priest with what we've seen from him in 2023 alone. I personally hate that for him, though, that world does exist, because pop meter in reverse, I would, in a lot of ways, put Damian Priest right on the level with Cody Rhodes right now.
Now, so we're going to go past the SummerSlam Slim Jim Battle Royal because I don't think we need to. LA Knight won. Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
LA Knight won. My only thing was I don't feel like there were storylines in the Battle Royal to kick off new storylines. Like we didn't see anybody I don't think we cared about Austin Theory getting thrown out as much as we should, unless Santos Escobar is going to be your next United States champion, unless that's the case. But in the grand scheme of things, it was a spot for LA Knight, yeah. And I want to move past Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey because all I'm going to say to that is the WWE made a terrible mistake by removing Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus and keeping that match we saw last night on the card.
Yeah, two things I want to say on both of those. So it's going to be real quick. Even though LA Knight, and I mean, we knew to call it. So, and I was like, because he needs his first big win. The other great moment in the Battle Royal was The Miz and Grayson Waller. Again.
You saw the pairing of a tag team, y'all.
Yo.
You saw. I'm going to get to the tag team division a little bit later.
Bad. So just move forward. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler. Listen, we know for a fact Ronda Rousey MMA matches don't go like that. So she can't win. so she couldn't win regardless. It's like, dog, Heidi Holmes already let us know your hands don't go. We know you either win in 10 seconds or you losing in 30. And hey, Shayna Baszler, she got her moment. And you know what? What I will do, I'll salute Shayna Baszler for being in a high-profile match at a premium live event. It's just that you were supposed to be the face, and we don't care about you like that because you were never built to be cared about in that way. So I'm sorry it didn't work out the way it should have been. And a place like Detroit, a place that has some of the most beautiful women and the most effed up conditions you'll ever find, you definitely need Trish Stratus there. You definitely need Becky Lynch there because it makes more sense to literally the environment that they were at. Granted, I told y'all on the prediction show that we don't need the match, but we needed it more than we needed what we saw. And that's all I got. I'm sorry, ladies. It shouldn't have been that way for y'all.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and go into Gunther versus Drew McIntyre real quick. Went the way that I thought it was going to go.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Drew McIntyre left out of there and like he didn't stay, he didn't even stay long on the mat to be like, ow, I'm hurt. He sold it on the way down, but he definitely left quick as hell. But my question, it revolves around Gunther, fam.
Okay.
Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Goonther.
Yeah.
Is Gunther one of the odds-on favorites to win the Royal Rumble?
Absolutely.
At this point.
Hey, listen. Hey, whatever episode that was, the first black champ after the Royal Rumble, when I said y'all should expect to see him in the last three every single year for at least the next 3 to 5 years, I meant it. Yeah, I meant it. I meant that in January. So yeah, absolutely. Nobody is more primed to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania. Shoot, nobody's earned it more at this point than he has. He's in the top spot. There is no 1A. There's a close 2, but there's no 1A right now. And that the only thing that he has left to do, in my opinion, at this stage in the game, is be on the poster for WrestleMania as one of the marquee matches.
I'm going to go further. The person who should dethrone Seth Rollins is Gunther. Gunther and the person I believe that's going to make that WWE World Championship not feel like the WWE Television Championship. Nothing against Seth, but I just felt like, kicking it off, he defended that bitch too much.
Yeah, for sure.
The way you make something stronger is to make us miss it.
Mm-hmm. Exclusivity.
I believe that the person that's going to legitimize the WWE World Championship is going to be Gunther when that belt is around his waist. So my prediction is that no later than the Royal Rumble, Gunther will be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He ain't gonna have to go into the Royal Rumble to get it because he's gonna defend that bitch at WrestleMania 40.
Hey, and I like that because that makes my 5-year stretch, my 3 to 5 year stretch, make any more sense. Even more sense. It's like, seeing him at the end of 3 or 5 WrestleMania Royal Rumbles would be a little overkill. But if 2 of them he been the champ and he already fighting for the belt, so he don't need to be in it, then that builds him right. You know, that's the good booking, as you guys like to talk about there on Wrestling X, right? It's not hey, Wrestling X, that sounds like some
that's Wrestling Society X. That's out the MTV. Remember that back in the
day? So, but yeah, no, hey, listen, I don't think you miss with what you're saying with Gunther. He's now, you know, the Intercontinental title doesn't feel so hot potato now. It really does feel like the workman's title again. I'm not crazy about the look, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, all he has left to do is make sure that Honky's number 2, and he can do whatever he wants after that.
Yep. Let's go into Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor. Seth freaking Rollins takes on the WWE World Television Heavyweight Championship.
Legit shocker for me.
It was, especially at a match when I definitely thought it was a shocker. But Triple H said something during the scrum last night. Thought that you, let me say this, that you have talked about on multiple occasions. Lord Jesus. But I'm going to tell you about that because I got to take a pause because somebody's thing is out. Hold on for a second.
Yo. Oh, man. First Black Champ podcast, man. What were your thoughts on SummerSlam? Wild Bang is putting things away. And I'll just leave it there. No Jared. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to
funny moments on the pod. I turn around and Landon took off his pull-up. You just out here.
Like, yo,
bottom house. My house, fam.
Like, yo, what you mean I'm at the crib? What you mean? What you mean?
Man, he was gonna walk past me and we was not gonna have a pod.
Man.
On YouTube.
You know what I'm saying, man? Hashtag no Jared. All right?
Yeah, it would have definitely not been a moment that we was cool with. Yeah, give him the pull-up, fam. Give him the pull-up. So yeah, let's reset for a second.
Samoa!
As I was putting the pull-up on, hey man, we are back on First Black Champ. So we're talking about Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Now, at the end of the match, or towards the end of the match, Damian Priest came down there, and Finn was like, "Yo, we sticking with Plan A." I guess Plan A didn't work, and everybody else came down there. He tried to do Plan B. Damian Priest looked at his ass like, "Nick, go ahead." And he ended up getting stomped in the Money in the Bank. Triple H said something towards the end of the scrum, at the scrum last night, where he said something that you've been saying for a while, but then you relented and said it's Rhea Ripley. Triple H questioned is there a leader is their leader in Judgment Day. Good group, talented group, but is their leader in the group? Which when you look at it, I think that is a very, very questionable group issue right there. It's a very questionable group issue because when you look at this, you look at the group, it's splintered as shit at this point. And I said this, the group reminded me of with the Dean Malenko, Saturn, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit.
Radicals.
It reminds me of the Radicals because while they were a group, they were all doing their own thing. Got to a point where Saturn was walking around here with a broom and a dress. Dean Malenko was out here wrestling Taka Michinoku and others for the light heavyweight championship. You had Chris Benoit fighting for the world championship, and Eddie Guerrero was out here trying to get some pussy. Now you look at this group and you look at the Radicals.
Yeah.
It's only difference to me is that Damian Priest ain't got no, or Finn Balor ain't got no dress and no broom.
Yeah. Well, Dom is the pussy, so Rhea doesn't have to go get it.
Well, in this case, they've replaced Dean Malenko in the Radicals, and they've entered China into the Radicals.
I live in China. Okay, because I do agree with it. However, I still think Rhea Ripley's the leader of Judgment Day for this reason. Because even if Finn Balor don't listen to her, Damian Priest just agrees to chill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, obviously, Rhea's in control of Dom. Rhea's also has the heaviest title. You know what I'm saying? She's the world women's champion. She's not the NXT North American champion. She's not the Money in the Bank winner. And she's definitely not just here having dope matches. She's literally the lead. Rhea Ripley's the leader because she don't even really wrestle. She just come out and decide she gonna fight today. And she put the title on the line, but whether it's on the line or not, you know the outcome. She's obviously in control of Dom. Damian Priest is like, you know what? Only because I want to nail. I bet I'll listen. It's cool. I'll chill. But only because I want to nail, though. If I didn't want to nail, bitch, I would never listen to you. But and then it's Finn Balor, the guy who, whether you want to base it on seniority, potential, a resume, who should be the leader, but obviously is not. Because all of the people around him are achieving more than him at the right time. And even though Finn Balor has looked very strong over the last 10 to 12 months, he's still like the third member of the Beatles. He's not Paul, Johnny, or Ringo.
He's George Harrison.
Yeah, he George. And it ain't that George ain't important. He just not Ringo, though.
He don't have this. Yeah, Finn Balor's lost his swag.
Yeah.
Even though he out there wrestling in dunks, he got the purple flag in his pants. He's lost his way. This ain't the Finn Balor. I'm not used to this Finn Balor. That thing. And whether he was heel or face, like the Finn Balor I like is the Finn Balor in NXT. The Finn Balor that don't give a shit. This Finn Balor right here, this Finn Balor I saw last night, I was honestly, this match I was disappointed in. Not saying that this match was bad because it wasn't bad at all, but I was disappointed. I was disappointed in the outcome, but then when I saw it and then I listened to what Triple H said in the scrum, I said, oh, now is this a way for us to legit get a leader? Because as I said, that was an MVP and somebody who didn't even have a match last night. And that was Damian Priest. Damian Priest looked strong in irritation.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody look so strong and being irritated in my life until I saw Damian Priest, because the stare down between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins, I was like, oh. And that's also why I asked you the question I asked you about Cody, because Cody needs the money in the bank.
Yeah.
Damian Priest not only don't. To me, there's two people that should dethrone Seth Rollins. Now, one is Gunther, because he's earned it. He's going to be the longest running Intercontinental Champion ever. And I've not seen an Intercontinental Champion look as strong as Gunther has, honestly. And I know some people might think I'm hot taking the hit. I'm not. Because the last time I felt like the Intercontinental Championship looked strong is not Triple H or The Rock, nothing like that. It's when Mr. Perfect had it.
Oh, yeah, no, I get you.
That's the last time that I felt like that belt was strong.
Yeah.
Because to me, Mr. Perfect was a low high card, high mid card wrestler who could be the champion. And he didn't lose. He was Mr. Perfect to us. And when he won that belt in that tournament on Superstars against Tito Santana, to when he lost it to Bret Hart, it never looked stronger to me. It's looked strong around people's waist. It looked strong around Bret Hart's waist.
Yeah.
But then remember, Bret Hart lost that bitch to, I think, the Mountie.
Yeah.
Who then lost it to Roddy Piper.
Right.
Who then lost it to Bret Hart.
Yeah.
So it didn't really but for me, the last strong, even though I believe that it's been held by worthy people.
Okay.
The last time I felt like the Intercontinental, best way of saying this, the last time that I felt like the Intercontinental Championship was just as good as the World Heavyweight Championship is when Mr. Perfect had it.
I only want to throw just one more Intercontinental Champion in there.
Who that?
Just one. Because I agree with you overall as I'm just like mentally Rolodexing. The only one I would throw in there would be Razor Ramon.
The only reason why it's not Razor Ramon to me is because it felt like a second World Heavyweight Championship with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, I don't even want to say it's over. I want to put it near the class, but to your point, because I think both of those guys, and to your point, Perfect, Razor, and now Gunther, I think they're doing the same thing mentally with it, which is like, hey, I'm treating this like this is my world title because I don't know for sure I'm getting a shot.
Bingo.
Yeah. And then 8.5 months, Razor Ramon got it, and then now it looks different when he got the second ring.
Right, because here's the other thing too. The Intercontinental Championship has been traditionally also used as a litmus test.
Yeah.
For somebody who could be next up.
Yeah.
Razor Ramon was not that person, but Shawn Michaels was. Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H were.
Yeah.
The Miz, kinda. Chris Jericho was already that person. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But with Mr. Perfect, we knew he wasn't getting the shot.
Yeah.
At Hogan. So this is your world championship right here. I think he made that feel like a world championship.
No, I feel you. I'm with you.
So that's why.
I'm 100% with you.
So with Gunther, because also you look at how new the WWE World Heavyweight Championship is, that feels like the world champion of Raw to me. But then when I look at Damian Priest and I look at Finn Balor and I look at the Judgment Day, we've said this, the world champion in that group is Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley went and did the riptide to Wes Lee that cost him the match on NXT.
Yeah.
We was like, when we saw Damian Priest come down there, our first thought was, damn, he might try to cash in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what y'all thought?
No, wait a minute. Just globally, not me.
Oh, okay.
It went how I thought it was going to go.
Okay.
Because remember, my thing was Finn Balor wins the championship and they all got the shit.
Mm-hmm.
They all got something. But when Rhea Ripley came down there, that's the first time I was like, oh man, they're about to whoop Seth Rollins' ass. That was my first thought.
Yeah.
It was the threat with Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
It was the, she's about to go down when Rhea Ripley came out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But just the whole interaction with him and Finn, nobody looked stronger without putting themselves in the ring more than Damian Priest did, which makes to me Damian Priest the second person that I look at and be like, okay, that person could dethrone Seth Rollins. But the thing is that does he need Money in the Bank to do it? I don't think so. I don't think
Damian Priest, quote, needs more Money in the Bank to lead the Judgment Day, right? So we're in agreement there. There's a couple reasons why I want him to keep it and have it. I've already gave y'all the first one because look at this 2023. Tell me he just ain't earned it, right? The other piece of it is, man, I think last night, like, I want to be super clear. Even though I picked Finn Balor to win it last night and I was wrong, I picked it based on what I thought was about to happen, which was Damian Priest obviously setting up the play to make sure that the Judgment Day gets the title. I really do think that Damian Priest has taken on this role of, I'm trying to lead y'all. I know I ain't got no belt. I know I ain't headline WrestleMania. I ain't the first Universal Champion. But on the real though, I got it right now. Y'all really need to listen to me, and we gonna all win. Because bottom line is, I won my title by myself. I mean, I won my Money in the Bank by myself. And when it's set up to where he obviously orchestrated to come down to cause a distraction to Seth Rollins, but then Finn Balor got so enamored with him being out there that he was like, dude, win the match. Like, he literally just sitting there like, what do you mean? Win the match. Like, we here. And then when it started going left, he like, hey, all right, he ain't listening to me. So here come Rhea and Dom, and it's like, yo, Judgment Day out here, let's win the match. And here's the deal. You don't form a faction to do shit by yourself. So Finn Balor is immediately out of pocket. I totally get the Money in the Bank route and the things and things like that. But the callback for Damian Priest is, I asked her to let me do this by myself, but look what I went and did. This was convincing. Like, I really made this happen. I didn't really need y'all, and I didn't want y'all around. And y'all cost me a match. The reverse is, Finn, I'm trying to make sure you win this match because we've watched Seth Rollins beat you. Let's unite as the Judgment Day and get this done. And you just don't want to do it my way. And so since you don't want to do it my way, well, then take what come with not doing it my way. Like, here the briefcase. You know what to do with it. Let me get in front of the ref. You do it. You know what I'm saying? And you still fail. So ain't nothing for us to talk about. I would have grabbed my shit and left too. So I say all that to say that's why Damian Priest should be the Money in the Bank. Because out of the Judgment Day, for what's best for the crew, he's making the best decisions.
So my question to you is the Judgment Day done?
By design, yes, it is. And back to your Radicals point, you know how the Radicals never really broke up. They just stopped being billed together.
They just
yeah. All of a sudden it was like, yeah, I know him. Yeah, we cool. It's good. But Mamacita though, you know what I mean? Like it was just that. And now you got like Dom could literally just end up on NXT for a month and just be like, hey, I've been defending my title. Rhea can just start being booked. And that just takes away from it because they can't fight women, you know. Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank can just decide to show up on SmackDown just because. And that leaves Finn Balor to do whatever he decide to do. Another thing with this is I was talking about Cody because Finn Balor was on top of the parking garage when McDonough was out there after his debut. Obviously, there's some interest there. Maybe Finn and Cody get traded for shit. Yes, boys. You know what I mean? Pretty deadly. Maybe they do a swap when homie is healthy and they can go back to Raw. Who knows? But yeah, I think they could break up and it not mean nothing. But at the same time, if we kill a little time with Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, I think that works well for both of them too.
Well, look, it's going to be interesting seeing what happens with that. And the last thing we have, of course, the triple threat match that happened, Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Charlotte. But Io Sky cashing in. We all had, no matter who we had winning before Io Sky, we had Io Sky winning and ending the night.
Yeah.
So how did you like the triple threat and the ending, which was, of course, Io Sky winning it all?
If I can keep it a buck with y'all, because this is the first Black Champ podcast, that triple threat match was super underwhelming for me. It looked like gymnastics. It looked super staged. I was wondering why Asuka came out before Bianca Belair, but then I saw the ad. I saw the live read for our radio people out there on her interest, and I was like, Bianca Belair winning tonight ain't far-fetched at all now. I was like, but I'm not wavering from Money in the Bank being cashed in tonight. I'm not wavering from Io Sky leaving the champ, though. And the props to them being the production team for never really showing the Bianca Belair injury from the angle we needed to see it from. Shout out to them. But that and then when I realized 2 minutes of the match had came and she had only got 10 feet away from the ring, I was like, oh, this is the game we play. So but then though, bang, I was like, oh no, Io Sky's definitely cashing in now because technically it's only 2 people to beat. And Charlotte is notorious for letting people cash in on her, but she got to pad the stats to get to 16. Then again, just more choreography, more gymnastics. I felt like I saw the same sequence about 4 or 5 times in that match with Charlotte in the boot, the natural selection, the figure 8. I just felt like I seen the whole match like it was like Groundhog's Day. It was like Who Cloned Tyrone? I just kept seeing the same shit. Then the match finally ends. And then Io's music hit. And I was just, and at first I was like, hey, Black Champ, okay, Black Champ. That's why we do the ads, right? Right? That's why we do live reads. And then the music hit, and I was like, oh, okay, let's see how this goes. And then Bayley comes out and just starts leveling bitches with the briefcase. I was like, oh, we really doing it for real. Cash in, first time, mind y'all, in a while where they don't let the competitor get coherent and stand up on their feet for the bell to ring. They just cash in instantly. That was telling for me. Pin. And that pop that Io Sky got was bigger than anything that any woman did that entire night or weekend in Detroit. I knew that the WWE Universe wanted Io Sky to get that belt. I didn't know that they wanted her to get that belt that bad. And that's why it was a great move for not only her to win Money in the Bank, but to cash in on Bianca Belair over Asuka or Charlotte, because we remember the SummerSlam where Bianca loses in 8 seconds and how that changed Becky Lynch's whole just return. They had to make her a heel because the crowd didn't F with it that much. That didn't happen last night. I kind of felt like the entire Ford field let us know, hey, yo, we off Asuka, we off Charlotte, and we off Bianca Belair right now. I think Ford Field and the Universal is like, yo, we kind of off everybody. This Io Sky thing, let's see where this goes. And I don't think it's going to be a short reign. I don't think it's going to be a transitional reign. I think they put the title on somebody that's actually going to do something super cool with it. It's going to be it's literally a world women's champion we have not seen. We have not seen this. Io Sky with a major title on a main roster. We have not seen this. So I think just even that element of, wow, we got something new going into the fourth quarter. And props to Io Sky for working on her English, because cash in. That's the clearest English she's ever spoke. Shout out to that young lady for getting her Duolingo on and making sure that she was prepared for the moment. They gave her a lot of camera time. That crowd didn't sit down through none of that time. So overall, great decision, best decision made. Honestly, when you bump Trish and Becky, you got Bianca Belair and Asuka and Charlotte in one match, we need better than that. Respectfully.
Yeah, well, look, we all know how this is gonna go. And how this is gonna go is simple. The right person has the championship. I like what happened at the end with bringing in Dakota Kai. And when you realize that it was a year since they re-debuted, and now they got the championship, and how a lot of people were saying, you know, they might as well go ahead and end this group and all of that. Sometimes you just got to stay the course, y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
So
because I definitely thought Damage Control was breaking up at SummerSlam 1 year later. But honestly, that's a better situation. Yo, let's elevate the girl that ain't really won nothing ever, and have the injured partner come out and we celebrate. And they say in real life, that's who Bayley is. Bayley is the one that's like, no, hey, let these other girls rock out. I already got my shit. I'm good. So I love the fact that the locker room is imitating in the ring. I like that, because now it sounds like everything that's ever been said about Bayley was 1,000% true, and she's one of the biggest G's out there, man, for that. So I salute that.
Yeah. So, hey, man, with that being said, that's the recap, man. That's the recap for SummerSlam. Can't wait to see what happens on Raw and SmackDown this week and these next couple of weeks. We got Payback that's coming up. So we already know what we can expect for that main event. Jimmy versus Jay. But
facts.
We also can expect Roman Reigns to be off for the night. So we'll see what happens from that. But hey, man, it was definitely great for y'all tuning in to As the Bloodline Turns and the rest of First Black Champ. So, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, you know what? Before we get out of here, too, completely, and I do my actual outro, I do want to say shout out to the ref in the Cody versus Brock match because he definitely let Cody was like, yo, you get your ass whooped so much, just use the stairs, bro. Because that was a normal singles match. If you got your settings on 2K23, that's a normal singles match. He was supposed to get disqualified. That match was not supposed to go on. But the ref was like, but that was out of desperation. So you good, fam.
Basically.
Man, we appreciate y'all checking out the First Black Champ podcast episode this week, man. Our bad for not celebrating our anniversary the right way. But hey, it wasn't 10 years. So, like nobody really celebrates their 7th birthday. It's cool. But man, the likes, the comments, the shares, being a part of the stream, giving us your input, your own thoughts, your hypotheses and what have you, man. It's always greatly appreciated. Obviously, Bang and I can do this whole show without any of you, but your contributions to not only this program, but to our community is greatly appreciated. And for that, we undoubtedly and gratitudinally thank you. All right. So the next time you want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Pick VP, DOC, and we are out. Johnny Wrestling, though.
He's probably not going to be on Raw anyway.
Yeah. No, now I'm giving him too much attention. I got to switch the last thing now.